Good morning, folks, or afternoon, midday, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Welcome. Welcome to the View from Appalachia with MD Creekmore. We're going to be talking about something today that is horrifying to even imagine, and that is nuclear Armageddon. We've been hearing about this back and forth. Cross this line, we will use nukes. Cross this line, we will see you as a direct threat and attack you directly. Ever since the Russia and Ukraine war started, the United States has said they're going to do something, like give Ukraine certain types of weapons, give Ukraine certain permissions to do certain things against Russia. And Russian media, Russian President Vladimir Putin and others in his cabinet will come out and say, if you cross this line, we will use nuclear weapons. If you cross this line, we will attack you directly. And so far, the United States and NATO has crossed every single line, every single ultimatum. We have crossed that and kept going more and more forward with more long range, more devastating attacks against Russia. And so far, Russia hasn't done anything besides posture and threaten. They thought that having nuclear weapons would be a deterrent. But now, they should be able to tell there's not been a deterrent at all. The United States and NATO knows that Russia has advanced nuclear weapons, hypersonic missiles, but they still keep poking. They still keep stepping over that line. Russia will mark the line in the sand, and NATO and the United States will step over that. And this is another example of that. This is from NPR. In a first, Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range weapons. And Vladimir Putin said that if this happens, and it's already happened, they've already sent the weapons from what I read, and they've already launched at least one and attack them from the United States into Russia. So, in a first, Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range weapons. I don't think Biden is allowing anything. I don't think Biden has control of his bowels, but maybe I could be wrong about that. For the first time, President Biden has given Ukraine the green light to use powerful American long-range weapons for strikes inside Russia, a U.S. official told NPR on Sunday. The missiles, known as the Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, can travel about 190 miles. Their use would enable Ukrainian troops to strike Russia's weapon stockpile, logistical centers, and airfields, which could help stop Russian forces from advancing in the battlefield and attacking Ukrainian cities. The U.S. official, who wasn't authorized to speak publicly about the decision, said the U.S. is allowing Ukraine to use the weapons to target in and around Kursk, the same region where 10,000 North Korean troops were recently deployed, according to the U.S. and its allies. So this is more, in my opinion, about taking out these North Korean troops. They know where they are, and they're going to use these longer range missiles to try to take out these North Korean troops. And how is North Korea going to react to this? Or is North Korea going to attack South Korea? I mean, who knows at this point what's going to happen? But it's definitely a really dry tinderbox, and they keep throwing sparks into that, hoping something will unite that. It's obvious to me that the United States and NATO, the people who actually control those entities, the military-industrial complex, is trying their best, and has been since this war started, to expand this out. They want a direct war with Russia. The United States and NATO want a direct war with Russia. And I saw a lot of people theorizing that the Biden administration, the Biden regime, is doing this now because they lost the presidential election to Donald Trump. And they're trying to get World War III started, possibly a nuclear war, as an attempt to stay in power. I don't think that's what it is. I really don't. But I think that they want a war. They want to expand this war because they think it will stay over there. They don't think Russia will actually use nuclear weapons. And so far, they've been correct. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it definitely has the potential to spark off World War III and nuclear war. Russia, more than likely, would use strategic strikes, nuclear artillery strikes, and things like that inside of Ukraine to wipe out the resistance there in Ukraine, more than likely. And they might attack NATO countries, especially NATO countries that has been helping Ukraine directly, that has been sending weapons and things like that to Ukraine directly. So who knows at this point what's going to happen? Maybe nothing. That's what we saw so far. We saw Russia keep doing the same exact tactics and same exact things they've always been doing, even after the United States and NATO crosses these lines. But I would say allowing these longer range U.S. weapons to strike inside of Russia is all about taking out these 10,000 North Korean troops. And North Korea isn't going to be very happy about that, in my opinion, because they are supposedly there for training with Russians and not as a attack force inside of Ukraine, from what I read. But we know that's probably what they're there for. 10,000 troops sent to Russia. Russia and North Korea has a treaty they signed, a mutual defense treaty, and that's what this is all supposed to be about. But I think these longer range weapons are to take out these troops, and they will attack cities and civilians and everything else in Russia like they've done before. Ukraine doesn't really care about attacking and killing civilians, drone striking inside Moscow or whatever. They don't care about that at all. They don't just target military targets. But I think the main purpose of these being sent to Ukraine and given the okay of these attacks is to take out these North Korean troops. But it definitely could spread out into a wider war. But like I said, so far it hasn't. So we will see. Moscow issues long-range missile warning to the West. Foreign Minister spokesman Maria Zakharova has reacted to a potential change in the essence of the conflict. Moscow has issued a stark warning to the United States and its allies, stating that any use of long-range missiles by Kyiv to strike deep inside Russian territory would signify the direct participation of the Western powers in the conflict. Monday evening statement from the Russian foreign minister comes amid confirmed reports that U.S. President Joe Biden has authorized Kyiv to use American-supplied ATACMS missiles to target cities inside Moscow's pre-2014 borders. So this is definitely going to happen. What will the response of Putin and his cabinet here be? They're saying possibly attacks on U.S. and NATO targets directly. But it remains to be seen if it's going to happen or not. Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully not. But they're definitely trying to get it. They're trying to provoke Russia. They've been trying to poke the bear ever since this war started, because they've tried their best to get a wider ranging war started. And so far, all Russia has done is threaten, not actually attacked directly. Ukraine fires first U.S.-made missile into Russia. World War III fears as Kremlin threatens nuclear weapons if long-range Western weapons are used in its territory. So they've already used some of these rockets. Ukrainian officials confirming the use of ATACMS on Russian soil for the first time. Comes as Kremlin said its updated nuclear doctrine allowed a nuclear response. We will see if that happens. So far, the only countries that ever used nuclear weapons on other people has been the United States. And as you know, we attacked civilians in Japan with nuclear weapons. Germany tells corporations prepare for war. So they're expecting something to happen. They're wanting something to happen, in my opinion. I don't think it's about the election. I really don't. Because I think that even if we are in World War III with Russia, I think that Donald Trump will still go into office, regardless of whether or not there's a war going on or not. I could be wrong, but I don't really think so. NATO countries preparing populations for war. Norway, Sweden, and Finland are reportedly urging citizens to stock up on essentials to get through the first few days. You're going to need more than a few days if you go to war, direct war, and it's actually in Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And the rockets start going back and forth, and the nukes start flying. You're going to need more than a few days of food on hand. I hear the rain starting outside right now. If you can hear that or not through this microphone. But we're supposed to get some rain here in Appalachia, and then it's supposed to turn off colder. That's why I did some work outside yesterday and got some things done. But anyway, this is definitely not looking good. But they've been trying the same tactics the United States and NATO has since this war started. Offering, saying they might send something. Russia says, if you do, we're going to attack using our nukes. Trying to deter it. And nope, they go ahead and do it anyway. And Russia, so far, has done absolutely nothing. Will they this time? Possibly. I don't think they will unless they think that their power structure is actually threatened. Then if they were actually threatened, then I think that they will, because what did he have to lose? But I don't think they will now. I think Ukraine can use these attack-ums to attack inside Russia, and Russia will give lip service and not actually do anything as far as attacking NATO targets directly. Now they could definitely use nuclear artillery and things like that to flatten out areas inside Ukraine. And that's more than likely, what they will do. They will try to find where these attack-ums are located. They will try to take those out, obviously, before they can be used. And they could definitely use nuclear options inside of Ukraine. Anyways, guys, want to think in the comments below, do you think this is going to spread out to a wider world war? Do you think that Russia could actually target the United States with intercontinental ballistic missiles tipped with nuclear warheads to strike military assets here inside the United States, military cities? I don't think it's going to happen right now because of this. I think it's definitely could. They could use things, like I said, to strike bigger weapons, maybe nuclear artillery and things like that. I can't talk this morning inside of Ukraine. But we'll see. We will see what happens here. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like the View from Appalachia channel, be sure to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.